that is, to me, is what is concerning. That the domestic environment has certainly improved for investment, but the international environment has turned negative. But we seem to have very little leverage in terms of ensuring that our interests are taken care of when other countries also set their tariffs. That, to me, is a bit concerning at the moment.
Got your point. I'll come to Mr. Dash very soon with another subject of yours. But staying on the point which you made, just give me a very quick answer to that. Sometimes the international policy which we create, does that hinge upon our electoral policy also, which means to become popular to my electorates? I create an international policy which may always not be very positive, may be sometimes detrimental for our economy. As an example, posturing animosity with a country could make me popular in the country, but it could be economically detrimental. So do you think our electoral policies to become popular internally in the country also to a large extent determines our international policies?
I wouldn't say it's a desire to become electorally popular which creates issues, but it's more the realization within the government that there are certain aspects of policy which are non-negotiable, which is where I mentioned about agriculture as an area. So for example, the US has been very insistent that we open up our agricultural sector, but there are very, very good reasons why the government is extremely reluctant to open up that sector. Again, Mr. Das mentioned that there were certain reasons why countries have imposed tariffs, and we need to recognize that. So I don't think it is a question of the government saying we will not open up certain sectors in order to become popular, but it is because the government realizes that opening up would have significant negative economic implications for significant sections of our society that they don't open up. And that is certainly something that you cannot question, because those interests have to be protected, whatever may happen in the rest of the world.
Got it. You wanted to make a point on this.
Well, I think that this, look at the positive side of yes, you've laid out the negative side of the world moving away from globalization, away from WTO, etc. But frankly, I would say that we are still the most over-regulated economy in the world. In fact, just before the session started, we were discussing with AKB here that actually the winds of deregulation are finally beginning to blow in Delhi. And this is if this can continue, and this has been forced on India because of this situation. Similarly, I would say even agriculture. The genetically modified foods, I'm sure it's a bad word in Calcutta, but the fact is that 74 countries consume GM foods, and they're in perfectly good health. In fact, Indians go to America and they don't die when they go to the US. And my point is that if the GM revolution, the scientific revolution passed us by, let's not allow the gene editing revolution, which is there today. And Indian scientists have done studies that should force us to go back to science. After all, the dwarf variety but they created the green revolution was a scientific move. So what I'm trying to say is there are a lot of things that we can also do for our farmers. Now, the farm laws were partly meant for that, but look at it as a stimulus. Look at the present situation as a stimulus. There's still a lot. No country has for the last 3 years has been growing like India has grown.